Hello again and welcome. And so many times we're told that, that the healing comes from outside of us when actually it comes within. And that's what this video is going to be about because, we're always trying and waiting for someone to come and fix it, someone to do this. And all the time, most of the time, that's all there is. So, healing is within means the capacity of physical, emotional, and spiritual wholeness is residing inside of you, acting as an inside job that begins addressing inner thoughts, emotions, beliefs. It involves self awareness, self compassion, and releasing all the layers rather than fighting, focusing on quiet growth and trusting that the body and spirit can recover. So, it's like going back to thinking that you can actually heal yourself, that the healing is within, that you have the power to be your own doctor because you are. Anything else that comes from outside is going to be a help and is going to help remind you that you can actually heal yourself. It sounds really, but that's how it is. That's reality. There's nothing coming outside from you, even the supplements, even the food, if anything. Of inner healing are self-forgiveness and awareness. Healing starts by acknowledging, accepting, and feeling emotions rather than suppressing them. So it's called an inside job because true transformation happens from the inside out, affecting how you navigate life rather than just changing external circumstances. Mindfulness and patience, practices like meditation, deep breathing, and being patient with your own process help cultivate this, as shown is, you know, releasing layers is a gentle process of letting go of past hurts, limiting beliefs, and the need of perfection, as explained. Now, sometimes we can get trapped in the loop of wanting to do everything for healing in such a perfect way that this traps us at the same time, which is, weird, but it happens. So, again, all this is going to help remind us again that we have this capacity, that then we get the power back. We are no longer, let's say, a prisoner of someone else coming, like, the Prince Charming coming with a horse, saving us from ourselves. So, so yeah, you've been looking for answers, for doctors, for medication, for something to fix the way you feel. You might be feeling helpless and powerless to do anything about it, about, your depression, your inflammation, whatever it is. And that belief that you're just in an anxious person and that's that, this is simply not true. The brain can adapt, it can also adjust and heal itself. The feeling of depression and anxiety are both cause of action. It's basically that your brain is responding to your environment. So if you spend a lifetime getting to the way you think and feel, what makes you think that the magic, and it will take courage to do changes in your life and relationships and the way that you spend your days, and actually understanding the toxicity part of it altogether to actually heal all this stuff. So if you break your leg and you take painkillers to numb the pain, then your leg will grow back wonky and you will limp and be in constant pain again. So what is needed is a healing space. Sometimes to break it, you need to stay off it for a while to let it heal, and then ultimately you need to prevent from doing the same thing again that broke it in the first place. So if your mind and your environment is filled with poisonous people and thoughts, then your psyche, your emotional state will become toxic, and that's what leads to disease. So this is why it's so important to be mindful of all of this, to be able to change all this stuff. So it's not just about the pills you take, it's that, again, you can actually, in fact, you're very much capable, and that's the only way it goes. It's very common that things get bad before they get better, and this is something we need to understand because, like conventional or whatever, this horrible medicine that we have nowadays, or what they call modern medicine, is made us think that you take a magic pill and you're fine, and that's that. But that's not the way the body works, and nothing works in nature. In fact, you're gonna get worse to get better in a constant up and down until things get stable. This might take long, short, or your life, but being able to live, obviously, not in horrible states. So it's only after you start doing something about it, after you heal from the past, that you can start focusing on your future, listening to your body, listening to your symptoms that are drawing you to change. So drive it, creates the healing space to do the basics. So, eat right, exercise, and so on, and learn to manage your thoughts and keep track of what's going on inside. So, so yeah, this all works together to finally heal. So again, if someone comes and tells you that there is like a magic pill, there's a magic something that's going to bring you back into health, they are very wrong. This is not going to happen unless you understand all this and you start managing all this stuff in a different way. So yeah, this is, you have to kind of love the symptoms at some point, even though they're horrible. And I almost killed myself in the process, which I mean, I have no words to describe. But that was the moment that I thought, right, there is nothing else. So go deep into back into your heart. That's where you can, you know, because it really is. So yeah. If you do, I mean, actually, do you have a deep feeling that something is missing from your health and wellness constantly? Ever wonder why we can fully achieve complete well-being? That's why that is the voice that has been removed from your health and your healing journey and is yourself. That is the voice that has been taken out of the medical space and replaced with profit. That's the voice. That voice is the inner healer that has been attempting to get your attention and show you the way through healing. It's just that we shut it down and numb it with painkillers, with whatever it is. So we forget about it. There is no profit in self healing, right? And it's bloody hard enough. So that's the point. So ancient wisdom tell us that the physical body that possesses all the wisdom necessarily to heal completely and permanently. Our physical vessel holds a highly intelligent, purposeful, predictable, and perfect blueprint that knows how to heal. You are not broken and you do not need fixing. Our only job is to remember this, tap into it, and allow the body to do what does naturally, which is regain equilibrium again. Actually, obviously, you have to do everything else in the physical, but along with this, that's the way it works. So, with that, it's true that we exist in extremely toxic, you know, planet at the moment, and must remove the garbage and all at all levels, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, in order to experience this innate well-being. But this is arguably the easy part. The challenge is to unlearn and relearn while releasing the fear programming that has been installed in you since your health and your power. Obviously, the big pharma, everything that would want us to be sick is not gonna tell you about this. And if you're trying to heal from Lyme disease, especially, um, or whatever you call it. I mean, I don't mind at this point. Disease is disease. It doesn't matter how horrible it is, and there are different levels. And for the most horrible ones, believe me that if you do not understand this, it's almost impossible to heal. And I believe that these diseases happen to us for this reason, to remind us. And in a brutal way, yeah, almost dying, yeah, but losing many years as well, yeah. But this is the reason why, to remind us of our power. And until we do not understand all this along everything else we do, it's just not going to be possible to heal. It has a purpose. So yeah, so I have explored and experienced and played with many ways to medicine, biofield medicine, German new medicine, various subconscious and mind healing techniques, spiritual practices, sound therapies. What has become true and has always been true is that we have been the answer and we have been looking for all wrong. We are the field, we are the fancy technology, we are the mind and the breath and the body. When we allow ourselves the space to explore the life choices, inner soil, terrain, belief distortions, and programming along the incoherence in the energy field, we remember, the cell remembers, the mind remembers, the soul remembers again, and healing can and will happen, and will ensure that this happens. So yeah, I mean, all of these things that I just said are very, very, very useful and work along again to remind you of this. So lesson that you can possibly have out of a disease like this, and the reason why and the reason behind it. But until we do not understand all this, it's just gonna be impossible. If we are constantly looking in the outside to heal us instead of focusing from for what we have within, it's just not gonna happen. And protesting about it, and there are phases to this. I did it as well when I was at the worst. I was doing this constantly, and I totally get it. But there is a moment that things change and you realize that you are the one, you have the power, you have the key to change all this along everything else you do. So yeah, and the absolute most important concept to understand is that no one is your healer, you are the healer. That's it. You have always had the power, your inner healer, your own soul, And this is what matters. I'll see you next time, and goodbye.